I brought you a little in on this one here. I had quite a bit to machine off here to get this down to 1 inches from the 1.25 inch stock that I had. And since I couldn't take too deep of cuts, I just figured I would get that down and get you back in here. What I'm going to do now here is the part needs to, or the arm, the support arm for the Atlas mill rides on the shaft, and it's about 1.57 inches long on the one that I'm copying, which doesn't have to be exact, so we're just going to kind of eyeball this in here, and then the machine running in back gear. I've kind of had to put it in back gear to help it out a little bit on the from keeping the lathe from bouncing. I may have to find a different way to mount this thing other than the table, but so I just put a little witness mark on there about 1.57 inches in, and I'm going to have to take this down to 0.62 once for the shaft, and I'll probably try to leave a little bit so I can try to polish that a little bit here, but and we'll see here. Hopefully I didn't have any subtraction problems there. It's about 6:30, so got about 5 thousandths to take off here. We'll see what this looks like here. We're back up, that way we can just face off from there if we have to. 626. And a little over 626, so go ahead and finish up here. We'll just kind of face off this a little bit here, and then put a little chamfer slash lead in here. There'd be some type of screw here. I haven't quite figured out whether I'm going to make it 1 inch here or take it down to a 7/16 thread. Depends on what kind of nuts I can find and the thread. A lot of the cutters that I had were measuring about 0.98 or 985, and so a little under 1 inch, and so I was kind of getting at the minimum for the max diameter for the thread. And I think that's going to kind of be enough here for tonight until I figured out the thread size that I'm going to use. That way I can figure out how much. So what I'll do here is I'll go in so far here and then cut a relief into there. Just kind of undercutting it, so that way when I'm coming to the end, I don't run the tool into the shoulder that may be left, if there'll end up being a shoulder. Okay, we'll try to do a little polishing, sanding here. Get this down to 0.625. That's our 8 threads per inch there. Just took a little bit of a touch there. I have to do the change gears, and I don't do that very often, so I wanted to double check my double check here. Did a couple passes. There was actually a second one there just to kind of make sure that it also went through the same groove here. So we'll try to at least cut a little bit of this 1 inch 8 thread here, as much as I can until I can get a nut, just for those final little bit to make sure it fits. But we'll see how this goes. The threading isn't something I'm very familiar with. Kind of wish I'm going to kind of concentrate now and just kind of see if I can get through this a little bit. Sorry, when I was doing the rest of the threading there, at the beginning there, I didn't start the camera, and then after a while I was getting tired enough and just needed to concentrate on that. But threads didn't turn out too bad. It was a inch 8 thread. I probably, if I would have known that I could get a nut that was an inch 14, I probably would have went with a little bit of the finer thread, but it didn't turn out too bad. And I only really almost messed up once when I was getting a little tired and didn't quite wait for the right number to come around before engaging the feed. But before I took the bar out of the thing, I wanted to give a little bit of a test just to make sure that the support arm came through, and it doesn't feel too bad. Not too much wobble on there, so that part's good. I was going through, I got an 1 1/8" nut. I got another one with a little bit better grade coming in. It's probably not the best thread. I probably went a little bit too deep on it with as I was getting near the end and just taking a couple spring cuts. It actually went from not going on to going on a little bit quicker than I thought it would. But overall, like I said, pretty happy with this end of the pipe or of the shaft, and we'll see how this turns out, being a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner, narrower than what it probably should be, but hopefully that'll allow all of the cutters that I have that are supposedly an inch to be able to fit on there. So next it'll be turning the shaft around here, and this end over here, there'll be a Morse taper 2 on it, or that I'll have to machine into it. There'll be a collar that stays at it'll be close to 1 1/4". I think it's 1 3/16". We'll have to get a couple notches milled into it for some studs that kind of drive studs on the milling machine. Then the Morse taper. That's the part there that I'm the most hesitant on to get it going. And then when that's done, I'll probably put a keyway in, although the originals on the Atlas generally say that the pressure is supposed to hold those as opposed to a keyway that you see on some of the largers. But the existing one that I have does have a keyway, and I think I'll probably put one in whether I have to use it all the time. That'll be I'll see if I need that, but otherwise I'll kind of turn things around, get things going. I'll have to turn it around, get it trued up as much as possible. I'm hoping this end will fit mostly through the spindle and the chuck, so I'll probably clamp down on this part over here when I'm doing this machining. And then I hope I can get the compound and everything in there to do to cut the taper while still being able to support it, unless this is small enough that I can get it far enough into the chuck that I don't have much overhang and can just set up the compound or that I can set up the compound without having to have the tailstock in. So, but we'll see once I get that set up.